Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Mosa. Welcome back to my channel. And if you want to learn how to do this long, luxurious lock, stay tuned and stay beautiful. Hey y'all! As you can see, I'm starting off on freshly washed and blow-dried hair. I'm going out a pixie cut and it's coming out super cute. So, before I blow dry it, I moisturize my hair with this Cream of Nature coconut milk, and it is very, very hydrating on my hair, as well as some Dew Grow hydrating hair oil. I love to keep my hair moisturized, so I went ahead and moisturized off camera. I'm going to be using edge control today, as well as a comb. This comb is for parting, of course, you know. Also, I'm using a hair tie to keep those extra parts out of my way when I'm doing my hair. Also, I have this Bobby Boss hair that I did not use, guys. I did not use the Bobby Boss hair. I actually used Kanekalon hair and did the feed-in method instead, which I will show you later. So I'll use that for a different style, of course. But to wrap the actual locks, I use this Free Tress Punta Cana twist hair, and it's like 3 different packs of hair in one. So I use that, as well as the equal Cuban twist hair, because I needed about 4 packs for this style. So I used that one big pack and that second pack to go ahead and complete this style, as well as some clips so that I can keep my extra hair out the way as well. So what I'm doing here is actually just showing you all how I began parting. Well, I didn't actually mean to part so perfectly, but I do my hair a lot, so my parts came out to be a little bit more defined than I was trying to go for, but it's okay, because as time goes on, the parts will definitely do their thing and look a lot more natural. So I'm putting some edge control on the outside of my parts. If you like it to look very defined, then you may want to try this. I like it to be defined in the beginning because, like I said, it's gonna do its thing later. So this is my hair completed to the halfway point. You can kind of see what I was talking about. I didn't really try to get those parts like that, but that is what they came out as well as you can see the length of the hair. So here I'm showing you, basically I'm on this last part, which is in the front, which is a pretty large part, and I'm using the feed-in method with hair about this size. I used about 4 to 5 pieces to do the actual braid under the lock. So I'm taking the edge control and putting it around the part as I've done on each one of them. And I'm just getting that around there so that I can, you know, have a nice uniform look in the beginning. Of course, as it starts to grow, my hair will curl up. That is actually why I blow dry my hair, because if not, it would be super curly and kind of hard to show you the different parting and explain it all, because my hair is really short and curly right now. So I'm getting that smoothed out in there. You want to get it all smoothed out and leave out some edges if that's what you like. Of course, I don't leave out as much in the beginning, because as time goes on, the hair just starts to kind of form itself, and it will definitely pull out more edges and bring out more edges as you go on with the hairstyle. So I'm getting ready to braid here, and I'm going to actually be feeding the hair in. I used about 4 to 5 thick pieces of hair to actually feed that braid to get it to the length and thickness that I like. So I'm starting off the braid, and I'm just braiding it and getting a solid foundation. And then now I'm going to be adding in my first piece of hair. As I'm adding that piece in, I'm adding it to one piece, braiding down, and then I'm just throwing that other piece on another strand of that braid and continuing to braid down. And I will be repeating this process over until I get it into the thickness and length that I want. So again, I'm just taking one piece and adding it to one side of that braid, braiding it in, and then actually just taking that other piece and adding it to another strand and continuing to braid it in. So I wasn't really going for a perfect braid when doing this, so mine isn't very perfect, but if you would like a tutorial on how to feed in the braids, I can show you on another video. Just leave me a comment down below if you are struggling with this or need help with it. If I'm showing someone, I would definitely be a lot more detailed and more precise on how I'm feeding it in. But since it's going under a lock, I just wanted to make sure that the hair was in there so that I could go ahead and wrap it. So I'm adding another piece in here, and sometimes I use different methods, but it always comes out well. And you can see I'm doing some voodoo with my hands there, just basically adding in that piece and continuing to braid down. And I wanted to keep this in real time so that you guys can actually see the process of doing this braid. You know, making sure that I continue to smooth it out so that it doesn't get tangled. But if you are going to do this with the Kanekalon hair, I do suggest that you go ahead and get the pre-stretched hair. The pre-stretched hair is a lot easier to work with, being that you don't have to get all the tangles out. So here you can see me adding in that hair, putting that one strand in, and braiding down a little bit here. I'm doing it in a much slower motion so that you can see what I'm doing. Braiding that in, and then putting the other piece on a different strand and going ahead and braiding down. While you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're holding the pieces tight so that you can make sure that you're getting those different pieces in while you are braiding the hair down. I don't believe that I added any more pieces because it was the desired thickness and length that I was going for. If you're going for a bigger lock, you can add more pieces of hair, or if you're going for a longer or shorter lock, you can add less or more pieces of hair. This method is something that I have used that has come in handy for me because I was not able to find the Janet collection faux lock at any of the stores that I went to. So this is one of the methods that I have used that has worked for me successfully, and it's not very heavy on my head as well. So as I'm just showing you this, I'm continuing to braid, and I'll be braiding it down to about the length of the lock that I'm going for, and the rest of it I'll just kind of keep it loose, and I'll show you what I will do with that. Alright, so this is the length of the braid that I'm going for. Of course, this length of the braid is as uniform as the other ones, and I will actually be wrapping the braid in the marley hair next to show you how you actually complete the lock. So this is the crochet hook that I use to go ahead and push through the hair so that I can actually get the marley hair on the braid. So this is the equal hair. It's pretty long, which was good. I used both of them. I didn't really have a favorite of the two, but the equal hair was very long and easy to use. I'm hooking just the end on it, and I'll show you why, of course. Going ahead and pulling that through, and I'm only going to be using about, I say that's about 4 inches of hair, and laying it on the braid before I actually begin wrapping it. And I will begin wrapping in a backwards motion or counterclockwise motion. So I'm showing you here how I'm actually going to begin wrapping the hair, going in a backwards motion. Starting at that root, I'm actually wrapping it around 2 to 3 times before actually going down the braid. And what I'm going to be doing here is just going in a backwards motion and using the hand that's holding that braid to guide me down the actual lock while I'm wrapping it. And you can see what I'm doing here in a very repetitive motion. So as you see, I'm continuing to wrap the hair down as well as spreading it while I'm wrapping. And once I get to close to the end of that piece, I'm laying that last piece flat on the braid and actually starting with a new piece of marley hair. I will be using the same method of actually laying that first piece down on top or next to that piece from the last piece of marley hair, and I will start to wrap those pieces around again in the same motion, in the same fashion as I had done the other lock or marley piece of hair previously. So it will be the same motion. As I'm wrapping it around, I'm spreading it out a little to make sure that it's laying flat on the braid and that the braid is not exposed and that is actually being covered by the marley hair. And I will be doing this all the way down to the end. As you can see, I'm down towards the end and I am almost done with this marley hair as well. So I'm going to repeat the process earlier of laying that last piece down flat on the braid and adding in a new piece But while adding in this last piece, I will actually be cutting this piece in half. And with cutting this piece in half, honestly, it just saves the amount of wrapping that you have to do if you're at the end, because it's kind of unnecessary to keep a long piece of hair there if you don't really need it. And I'm just stretching that piece out so that it will be a lot easier for when I'm wrapping it to seal it on the ends. So what I'm doing here is taking that piece that, just as I have done before, and wrapping it around at the bottom of that lock. And you know, if you want to go over that slimmer piece and do it all over again, it's totally up to you. You can definitely do your locks as uniform or ununiform as you like, but I am continuing to wrap this piece down all the way to the end of that previous braid, and I'm kind of smoothing it out a little bit to show you that I was not trying to have it look so different at the bottom. But I'm taking that piece at the bottom and actually folding it over. And once I fold that piece over, I will begin to start wrapping the marley hair over it, going towards the top of the lock. So I will start wrapping in an upward motion, and after I'm done with that, I will just continue to wrap it around until it is secure, and then I will seal it on the ends and get it exactly how I want it to look. So of course, once you get it sealed, you can actually take a lighter and go ahead and burn that in. And if you want to use a glueless method or heatless method, I must say, you can use like a got to be spray and spray it on there and actually do a palm roll on it, and then you're good to go. But I've noticed that using the lighter is a lot easier and helpful for me. So there you have it. That is basically how you complete this style. Of course, you'll be doing that all over your head. Now, I will be showing you how I like to do my edges. And honestly, it's really no science to it. You know, how you do your edges is based upon how you like them. But I always like to do them just basically how they are laying on my head, if that makes sense. I have like a longer piece of hair in the middle, so I always have a like, I guess you would call it a swoop or whatever you like to call it. I always have a piece in the middle, two on the side, and then the actual curly pieces on the sideburns. So here I'm just showing you how I do my edges, and enjoy. But also, if you would like a more detailed video on how to lay your edges, I can upload that for you. So just leave it in the comments if you would like to know how to do edges more precisely. And if you have any questions about it, just leave it in the comment section for me. guys, this little piece was giving me such a problem, so I was like, you know what, it's just going the other way with all the other pieces. Like, you're about to see me be like, child. That was my child face, and I had to continue on. So you can see how I like to lay my edges. It's not really very crazy or anything like that. It works for me. I like when they actually curl up a little bit, but this is how I lay my edges, and this is the completed look, guys. So thank you for watching this video, and if anything resonated with you, if you like the style and maybe even want to try it, please leave a comment below. And if I helped anyone learn today, leave a comment below. And with that being said, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and have a beautiful, blessed